You buy a lot of Ethereum, right?
Yes and no. I bought at 1,500 and I've not touched it since then. I've not added on to it.
Oh, okay.
I've not, yeah. I still have that and it's up almost 200% since then.
What's your like theory behind why Ethereum will be valuable someday?
I think the fact that Bitcoin is as valuable, it's a pure speculation bet that some of that's going to funnel into Ethereum.
That's it?
And
it's just like, it's like a second place thing.
Sure. Yeah.
What?
Like, yeah. But then again, when you look at Ethereum in comparison to my entire portfolio, I think it's like 0.1%.
Okay.
So it really, I don't care. If it goes back down to 1,500, I don't care. This sounds so out of touch. So out of touch. There was a Rolex Oyster Quartz that I wanted, and it was $12,500. And I thought I would invest in Ethereum to pay for the watch.
Okay.
And I was going to sell it when it hit like 20,000 in profit to be able to cash out, pay the tax, and that way I get a free watch. And I've just kept it. And now I'm up quite a bit. Okay. So I got a free watch many times over from that investment. That was all it is. It was the same thing as me going to a casino, except it was that 50-50 risk reward.
Right.
Where I was like, all right, 50% chance I lose it or 50% chance I get 3x and just buy the watch that I wanted.
Right. But you're still holding on to it.
Yeah, I haven't sold it.
Okay. Do you buy any Ethereum, Jikh?
I don't think I have any Ethereum. I might have like a couple grand in Ethereum, 5 grand in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
From my understanding, and like this is again like goes back to like risk versus reward management, is I think Tom Lee from Fundstrat, I don't know if you guys had him on yet.
No.
And I guess Larry Fink from BlackRock. This is like their thesis for why Ethereum could someday be like the thing. But here's why I could never like put in a ton of money. So here's kind of how it looks for Ethereum. So Ethereum is supposed to be the blockchain that will be the rails for the tokenization of a lot of assets across the world, including physical assets like watches, art, and real estate, and things like that. So we're going to digitize and bring things like real estate onto the blockchain, Ethereum's blockchain. So like, for example, JP Morgan, they tokenized, treasury bonds. So they actually tokenized treasury bonds on Ethereum. And then BlackRock tokenized money market funds on Ethereum's blockchain. And I thought that was really kind of interesting because I could imagine a world where, for example, like, let's say I'm an investor and I want to buy a REIT, right? But I don't want like a specific REIT that I see as an ETF. Instead, I'm like, I love Hawaii and I love this street or this area, like this area called Lanikai, right? I think it's going to be a strategic street for real estate. So I want specifically this section or specifically that house. And maybe that corporation or that owner could issue some percentage of that house. Like, let's say like they issue 50% or 10% or whatever it is. So that on my app, on my brokerage app, I could be like, you know what? Instead of buying an ETF that's a REIT, I could buy this area like Summerlin or like Henderson or this specific street. So you're going to get so granular because of this tokenization, and it's going to be accessible to everyone. And I think it's a possible reality that happens. So, and that's the same thing for watches, maybe cars. It's like, well, you know what? I want this like $20 million Ferrari collection from Hamilton, the guy you had on, right? But I can't afford a Ferrari. So maybe that guy issues some percentage equity in his collection on the blockchain. Maybe that's Ethereum. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So now I could buy it in my brokerage app. Like that's going to happen. That's what BlackRock sees is going to happen. And presuming that it's going to be on Ethereum's blockchain, that's when you get all the gas fees and all the burning mechanisms. And that's when Ethereum could become deflationary. And maybe that's how it becomes valuable. But the point I'm trying to make is like creating this like universe, which might happen someday, is these are assumptions of assumptions of assumptions on assumptions, right? Like we are making so many assumptions about it. That is it going to be this way? Will it actually be Ethereum, or will it be Solana, or will it be Cardano, or something else? We don't know. And so the more assumptions there are baked in, the more you could assume the price will go up. Like in Bitcoin's case, the difference between Bitcoin at $1 and 1,000, there's far more assumptions that were in place than there are from 100,000 to 1 million. Like that's only now a 10x, and that's because so many of Bitcoin's early assumptions, like adoption by Wall Street and the securitization with ETFs and all these things, like they've happened. Adoption by corporations, adoptions by countries. Like these are all things that have happened already. So now the jump between 100,000 to 1 million is only 10x. Like it's still a lot of money, but it's nowhere near the jump between $1 to $1,000. That's 1,000x because less assumptions had come true.
So what has to happen for Bitcoin to hit $1 million?
We talk about like these cycles, like these mega cycles that Bitcoin goes through. I don't know if we'll see another huge one. I think it'll be a slow, and by slow, I mean like still like 20 to 30% a year, melt up to $1 million from here on until like 2030 or whatever the year is going to be. Like nothing has to change. Just keeps on going at the same rate that it is. You take all the crazy assumptions out of it, I still think it ends up at $1 million, like inevitably.
So isn't Bitcoin about 1/10 the market cap currently of gold?
Yeah, about 1/13 or so, yeah.
I can't help but think that it has to be at some point 1/3 of gold or half.
I think so
of
too.
Gold.
I think it's inevitable, yeah.
But then I can't help but think, if I think that way, it has to be priced in.
Yeah.
Like this isn't like some mysterious sort of like no one's ever thought of that before. People are paying the price today with everything currently priced in as to what they believe is going to happen with it.
Do you remember Chris Camillo from Dumb Money?
Mm-hmm.
I really like his thesis on Bitcoin. Like he does not care about Bitcoin. He's like, I'm just a pure like social, what is this thing?
Social arb.
Social arb, right. Social arbitrage. And his entire thesis is really simple. It's just a reshuffling of monetary assets from things like gold and real estate and all the things that we will inherit from our parents and our grandparents. And it's like, well, thanks for the $2 million house. I can't afford the property taxes on this thing. I'm going to sell that. And gold, thanks, but I don't really get gold. It's not part of my generation. I'm going to sell that. I'm going to put some of it in Bitcoin. I'm not going to put all of it maybe, but some of it. And it's just like a simple reshuffling of assets and money from all of those back into Bitcoin. And a little bit from each little bucket, from bonds, from gold, from watches, from cars, from real estate, they might not be able to afford to keep up with. And it goes into Bitcoin. And that's like a slow melt up to $1 million.
Gold is becoming cooler now.
It is, yeah, that's true.
That's the other thing, is that I'm seeing a lot of people, our own age,
right,
now interested in gold just for the fact that it's gone up in price. They don't give about it though. But they just know, hey, it was, $1,000 5 years ago, and now it's, almost 4,000 an ounce. And just on the basis of that, it makes money. I like it now.
Yeah.
And so gold is coming back in style. Whereas before it was kind of unpopular. But it does seem like overall people are more likely to buy Bitcoin who are younger than gold.
I agree.
They had to choose between the two.
I agree. I don't think I'm that particularly old, but I miss the gold train. Like I don't own any gold. I wish I did, but I don't have any. And I imagine the younger generation is totally out of it too. Maybe they're a little more in tune with it now that you said the price has gone up, but I don't own any gold at all.
A really scary truth is just how vulnerable your digital life is, and most people have no idea until it's too late, and then they're stuck spending several hours trying to solve a problem that they did not create. So don't be like my roommate Kevin, because I kid you not, his identity got stolen 2 years ago, and guess who's still paying for it? Me. Because the one thing he still can't recover is his Venmo.
See, the trouble with identity theft and fraud is that it doesn't happen all at once. And by the time you notice, usually the damage is done.
And that's exactly where our sponsor, OmniWatch, comes in. It catches problems early by keeping an eye on your identity, credit, financial accounts, and online activity altogether. And the best part is that setting it up only takes a few minutes, and then from there, it works quietly in the background all day, every day.
OmniWatch monitors your credit activity, data breaches, and the dark web using AI-powered detection tools that are able to spot suspicious activity in real time. If it finds something unusual, you get an alert that tells you exactly what happened and the next steps to take.
You can lock your credit, secure all of your accounts, and fight fraud with just one click. If identity theft does occur, OmniWatch connects you with US-based specialists to restore your identity and handle the damage with up to $2 million in identity theft insurance.
So head on over to omniwatch.com/iced to get 50% off of your first month and see for yourself if your information's actually secure.
Seriously, guys, the peace of mind is worth it. Protect your credit, identity, and online data today. Again, that is 50% off your first month at omniwatch.com/iced.